I'd like to talk a little bit about your new book, I Dream in Haiku, a wonderful collection of poems inspired, again, by creative art and Japanese poetry, and it's over 41 beautiful poems. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the book.
Okay, well, it was a pretty simple little book. It was a simple idea as well. For the longest time, I really wanted to write a book. It's the funny part. I didn't think it was going to be a haiku book. It's not to say that I wasn't influenced by Japanese culture, since I actually practice martial arts, kendo, and I've known a lot of Japanese friends, especially from film school. When I went to film school, there's two particular guys that I specifically know that taught me a lot about Japanese culture as well. And it was a summer project too, and I was happy to finish it by the summer, because actually I'm a student. I'm going to college, getting a degree, and the one thing that I'm really happy about the book is that I was able to illustrate a lot of all the pictures that are in the book too. So that was probably my most difficult obstacle.
And I'm looking at some of the illustrations right now, and they're really, really fantastic illustrations. You did all these yourself?
Yeah, that is correct. Actually, I did them all myself. The only thing I could mention at the moment is that I'm not actually particularly an artist myself, so I'm pretty surprised at what I could actually do with little to no previous education, you might say.
The art looks absolutely amazing, and let's talk a little bit about your background and your training as a filmmaker, and let's talk about how that's impacted creation of books.
Oh, sure. So,
sure, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. Do you have any particular question you want to probably bring up by any chance?
Yes. How has filmmaking affected book creation? In your mind as a filmmaker, you have certain methods and techniques that you use when you create films. Isn't that true?
Yeah, actually, it's true. When I was actually writing the book, a lot of the stuff, even though they're dream-related, I did pick up from different elements, everyday life. And, I would take that particular scene, quote-unquote, because a lot of films have scenes, and I would try to frame it in my mind, you might say, and try to get that snapshot. And from that snapshot, I would write the haiku. So it was looking for those right shots, you might say, those right moments that pretty much inspired this book.
And let me go ahead and read from one of the haikus in the book, if that's okay.
Sure.
And I'm gonna read the one called Radio, since we're happen to be on the radio right now. And it goes, hanging out with friends, college radio station, some new and some old. Now, for those of our listeners, and I'm sure everyone does know, but there's a specific format that a haiku follows. Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. It's pretty simple in terms of the formatting itself. It's basically the first paragraph is five syllables. I'm sorry. Second paragraph is 7 syllables, and then the third paragraph is another 5 syllables. And
you mean lines, correct?
I'm sorry, you're correct. Yes, lines.
Yes. So for example, and this one that we just read, Radio, again, a very beautiful one, but I just want to read one more before I ask you which one is your favorite one. And I think I already know which one is your favorite one, and it starts with an O, but I'm not going to guess it yet. So let me go ahead and read what I think is another one of my own personal favorites.
Okay.
And it's called Writing.
Mm-hmm.
And writing goes, writing and writing, trying to figure it out. College will start soon. And it's a fantastic art of a student sitting at a table and writing. And I really love this because I love writing myself and I love writers. So I think it's fantastic. But I want for you to tell me which is your favorite haiku throughout the book.
Well, I actually personally have two of them. The first one is actually going to be Kiss. This is actually inspired by a special moment in my life, actually. And I don't know if you want me to read the haiku
Please.
itself. Oh,
Please.
Sure. So the haiku goes as this. Together alone, I'm scared to be rejected. I went for the kiss. So this actually was inspired by the first time I first kissed my girlfriend. So I'm pretty sure, everybody knows now, and, it's like one little secret, I guess, I have. Only a few people will know that, and now everybody knows. So
it's live on the radio, so everyone knows that.
Everybody knows. So the second one, it's waltz, and at the same time, the reason why this one's one of my favorite ones is because it also involves my girlfriend, which we took dancing class. And the poem goes as this: close to each other, it's a dance of elegance. I stepped on your foot. So you can just imagine what happened.
And I'm sure she took more pain than you did in learning to dance.
Yeah, I mean, waltzing is a pretty hard thing to do. It's not easy.
But in particular, what I thought would have been your favorite one was Ocarina, and you're all, because you're heavily involved with the Legend of Zelda. I've seen you playing songs from Legend of Zelda with your flute, and you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, the first thing is, like, Ocarina might have been the obvious, and to be quite honest, it is one of my favorite poems. But I think the reason why I wrote that was because I really wanted to have, like, exposure of the instrument itself. I think it's been like close to a year and a half since I actually discovered the ocarina. Correct myself. What I mean is the first time I took it as a serious instrument for me to play, because originally when I first discovered it was with the game Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, and I think that's when everybody knew about it, but nobody really knew it was a real instrument. So it was like a year and a half ago. I went to a Renaissance fair, and there was a little shop, and they had these cool little flutes, particularly one that you can wear around your neck, very small ones. So I actually bought one, and on the package it actually had a address and the company of where the ocarina was made. Luckily, they were located in Los Angeles, so I went to visit their shop, and you might say everything's history from there, I bought like 20 of them, and, they're pretty expensive, though. They're like $100 each, and,
Wow.
But at the same time, they're a work of art, because they're made out of ceramics, it's something you could display on your shelf, and, it's a pretty amazing little instrument. And I'm becoming collectors, sooner or later I'm going to start collecting European ones, which are a little bit harder to find, but at the same time they're a little more expensive because Europe is the birthplace of the modern ocarina.
Very nice. Very good. And you also participate in the World Ocarina Day. You want to tell us about that?
Oh, okay. That was actually, I'm not sure the particular date. It was actually last month. World Ocarina was actually the first event where a bunch of ocarina players, specifically in big towns like LA, New York, Texas, Houston, Texas, would get together and either, if they're in a guild, as we call them, an ocarina guild, would get together and play at the same day. I think the goal for this is that we're trying to get a ocarina festival in the United States. At the moment, the biggest ones are in Italy and I believe in Korea. I'm not sure where else, but they're pretty much like Comic-Con, or Anime Expo, where there's just a bunch of people come in who are major ocarina nerds and perform and see the products. And we're trying to do something like that here. And the guy who actually is is heading this organization is actually a pretty well-known ocarinaist in the United States. His name is Doc Jazz 4 for whoever knows him, or his real name is actually David Ramos. Yeah, he's from Texas, and he's actually trying to get something pretty big happening here. The only thing is that you have to start from a small little event and then try to grow from there, basically.
Right. And also just building a festival from the base level and getting organizers together and getting people involved. It's a lengthy process, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's funny because this year was my first time going to Anime Expo, and it was a pretty eye-opening experience. And the one thing that I learned from Anime Expo was that the only reason why it even exists is because it just started from a little anime club who wanted to do something more. And then next thing you know, it became this huge event that happens every year that I believe, I'm just estimating, but over 10,000 people visit.
Wow.
But, it's a lot. I was there for 4 days, and it was pretty intense.
Very nice. And also, you have a radio show yourself, do you not?
Yeah, actually, I do. We're actually trying to convert the radio part and do something more in terms of live video feed. And, well, the sad news is that the original show was on a radio station at Cerritos College, and unfortunately they closed down their radio, the doors for the radio show, their radio station. So we're still trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, we decided to go a little bit different, and we're doing a show on Vocal.com, and it's called Nerd Talk Radio, and we're going to do our first show on the 18th, Wednesday 18 at 2 p.m. at Geeks in Whittier, California, if anybody knows where that's at. Pretty big store.
Can we get an address? Do you have an address available for that if you'd like to tell us a little bit more information?
Yeah, actually, I might be able to have the information, but it's in Geeks in Whittier, and if I have a flyer right in front of me, actually, like I said, it's going to be on at 2 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time, and it's taking forever to load, but I probably have to skip this one because it's taking forever.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
And you are going to be, again, you're going to be hosting that, correct?
Yeah, it's actually going to be me and 3 or 4 other hosts. We are actually a pretty big group of nerds that just like to chat about nerdy things like Star Wars, Star Trek. We can even go, I don't know. I mean, there's Doctor Who, Sailor Moon. We touched every subject at least once.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And again, we are with author German Sanchez, author of I Dream in Haiku, which is a collection of poems inspired by creative art and Japanese poetry. Over 41 beautiful poems and illustrations, and this book is an absolute must-have for every home. And before we go out, I actually wanted to cue in another one of our authors to say hi. And we have 6-time Magician of the Year, Pop Hayden, on the line. Hi, Pop. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tommy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming on. And we also have German Sanchez on. German.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
So Pop, before we go into stories of a street performer, again, I'd like to thank German Sanchez for coming on the show. And again, his book is I Dream in Haiku. It's available on Amazon and other major online and brick-and-mortar retailers. Thank you very much, German.
Oh, thank you very much, too, for inviting me.
Thanks.